Greetings, harbingers of heresy and black metal enthusiasts. On today's episode, what we'll be going through is my new kill team. Yeah, my new kill team from an old kill team. So rehashing my love for the Heretic Astartes, or the Traitor Space Marine kill team in the new edition. I have assembled here 20 models, which will be my roster. And what I'll be doing is going through them, showing you some of the models themselves and some of the additions that I've added and had to increase into this just to make for the new kill team. But this might be a roster you consider using. Obviously, there's still not a lot of options, so this one's a bit of a no-brainer. But I am going to go through what I've got and why. So please stay tuned. Please subscribe right now if you're a complete and utter legend. And yeah, like, comment, share, all those things, and help boost this channel. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. But for now, let's get started. All right, first things first, let's have a look here at what we actually have. And what we have in our roster is 20 models, and they consist of 3 basic fire teams with options. So the first fire team we have is our Chaos Cultist fire team. Now this one, you can have up to 8 models. I've got 10 here, so we've got options. So basically, you've got you can have 2 gunners within the Chaos Cultist fire team. So you've got a choice here of the Heavy Stubber and 2 flamers. So you can take, you could take 1 of each, or you could take 2 flamers. I had to recycle this model from my 90s Necromunda team, I think, the Delicate one. So I've redone this guy, and I've only just started painting him. I had to substitute a few models into this and add a few more cultists, because from the last edition, I didn't use that many. Only the ones that are painted is what I used. So that's what you've got. You've got your leader here. You've got 3 cultists which have auto guns, and you have 3 cultists which have auto pistols and brutal assault weapons. So that's the fire team there for the Chaos Cultists. The Chaos Space Marine fire teams, and they can be comprised of any of this stuff up here. Well, not any of it, but follow the rules within your compendium just to find out what. But you'll see very soon anyway. So we've got a leader option here. So this is my main leader. He has a power fist and a plasma pistol. Our heavy gunner options are here. So we have a heavy bolter and we have a missile launcher. Our normal gunner options are over here, and we have a plasma gun and we have a melter gun. It's subbed in at the moment for a flamer, like some of you might pick that up if you're sharp. And the reason for that is in the last edition I didn't actually make the melter gun because I had 10 models, and the melter gun wasn't a very good option in the last edition, but in this one it's shit hot and it's better than the flamer. I don't really see a purpose for the flamer with Marines. I just don't know. It doesn't really do it for me. I've got 1 bolter Marine up here. I've got an icon bearer. Now the icon bearer in this can't have a power axe like this guy had. This used to be my substitute leader for this guy if I wanted a cheaper team, but there's no points now. This guy's going to be my icon bearer. I'll just have to replace this with a chainsword, and we're sweet. And then over here is assisted by 3 chainsword bolt pistol Chaos Space Marines. So within these 20 models, you'll be able to make a plethora of different combinations of teams, and I'm going to go through them right now. Okay, the first kill team I have here, made from this roster, is like what you'd probably call like an anti-elite team. This is how we used to, if you look back at my old content, you see I used to make these sort of rosters all the time. It's a little bit different with this edition. Because we've only still got the basic models, there's not a lot of variants, but I'm just going to go through the ones which I think might work in this game. And I have tried these teams too, particularly this one. I've tried this one and it worked quite successfully. So what we have here, as you can see, is we have our leader with our plasma and power fist. We've got our heavy gunner, which is a missile launcher. Now, if you want to use more the double shooting rules and stuff like that, the malicious volleys, you could always replace this guy with the heavy bolter if you wanted to. So they're interchangeable. So you could take the heavy bolter instead of him if that's your flavor. I mean, as you can see here, this team isn't really designed for shooting so much. Like the missile launcher is more there for the damage capacity that the crack grenades can pull out on elite teams, and the AP as well, which is really handy. I always find that really good. Obviously, with the heavy bolter, you can get some extra options. You can do the double shooting. That's the way you want to go, then easily exchange it. But we also have the melter gun, which I think is an overachiever in this list. I mean, in the playtesting, I think in the first game I played against Craftworld, and I killed 3 dudes with the melter gun, which was pretty nasty, and they were all one shots. So they just took him down. Hey, every time I shot with him, someone died. And then we have 2 sort of close combat assault Space Marines as well. So this team really, as I'm saying, is sort of going for maximum damage. It's got good coverage with some good weapons. So you've got like a plasma pistol there, you've got a melter gun, you've got the missile launcher or the heavy bolter, whatever your flavor is, and you've got 3 close combat dudes as well. So really good shooting, really good close combat. So it's a bit of an all-rounder team. And you can really, take advantage in this one of, some of your strategic ploys, like a hateful assault in particular is really great with this team. Let the Galaxy burn as well, fantastic. And then I won't go through a lot of the other stuff, but, have a look at this. It's quite a solid little makeup. These guys I've got painted in like Emperor's Children sort of style. That's what I like. That's what I used to use as well. Now, some of the things you might want to get for this, you could easily put like, a no-brainer really is to put like a suspensor system on the heavy weapon. Always works really well. Then you can move and shoot as opposed to not being able to do that. Sacrificial dagger is really cool. I generally like to put this on my leader because what happens, he gets in there, just blaps someone, but generally might take some damage. And this is just a good way of regaining some of those lost wounds on your leader, which, is a good expensive model in your team. You don't want to lose him, basically. Another really good one is Grizzly Trophy. Sometimes I like to put that on the icon bearer. So the icon's already giving you a bonus at square range. So the Grizzly Trophy gives you your enemies. It subtracts 1 from their attacks characteristics of range and melee attacks if they're within that range. So I like to keep him in that because he's going to be in close combat with all these guys. And if I can get him within square of everything, then basically what he can do is give them -1 to attack and then also give the bonuses to the other guys that are with him. So that's sort of how this list is set up. There's other things in there you could use. If you're going to use the heavy bolter, for example, you could, take some of the different rounds and stuff that you can take with that. You could throw a few grenades in there, which really help. The crack grenades are particularly good. I like that one. It's good to crack grenade. If I was going to use it, I'd probably put it on these close combat guys because these guys are already targets. I find like when your opponent fights this team, they go, ooh, got to kill the heavy weapons first, got to kill the leader second, then these guys. So if you put the crack grenades on these guys, I tend to find that they last a little bit longer. But that is my elite killer team. Let me know what you think about it down below, and let's get on to the next one. Now, it's a different kind of team within this edition of Kill Team. And the team I'm thinking of is kind of like your Scion, your Elder Craftworld, your Drukhari, that kind of mid-tier team of, not mid-tier, but mid-size team, 8 to 10 sort of models. I don't know really what you call it. It's not a horde, but it's somewhere in between, right? There's quite a lot of teams like that in this edition, all with very, very similar stats. And this is an alternative to fighting a team like that, as opposed to just a straight-out elite team where you want more damage. This team's going for something different here. So this one, I'm really leaning heavily on being able to use more shooting. So with the more shooting, I'm going to be using more of that malicious volleys. And then I've also got a little bit of close combat there too. I've got the leader and I've got the assault marine there as well for that close combat and the icon bearer. So it's a 50-50 team and it's got more shots like with the heavy bolter. And the plasma gun's probably better against those as well. So this team is really aimed at those middle-sized teams that there are a lot of. And really it's similar to the last one where we've got 2 fire teams of Marines. These Marines are really just, they're just doing more shots. Like the bolter, you can whack on different rounds with him, get him re-rolling things, makes him a lot better. You can use, same thing again, you go your hateful assault, your malicious volleys, let the galaxy burn, they all work really good on this. But you can spread a few more things around, like frag grenades and stuff like that are really effective against those sort of mid-sized teams that generally don't have a lot of wounds, and just getting that blast radius and the indirect fire is a really good thing. I know when I was fighting Craftworld again, having that grenade option is really good against something like their scouts, which are always concealed, which is real annoying. So throwing a grenade in there with a couple of guys hidden is quite a cool little tactic. So again, you're going to be using stuff like the suspensor system on this guy. You can use the sacrificial dagger, any of those things. bust up some rounds for these. You could even increase some of the rounds, say, for this guy. You could give him better rounds as well. And yeah, that's pretty much that team. Okay, this third team I've got for you guys is really... This could be your horde killer list, or it could be your objective grabbing list. So like if you've got a particular mission where you've got to grab objectives, and that's, you know, like there's lots of them or something, and you need to have more bodies doing things, then this might be the list for you. You know, it increases your, I guess your size of your force to 11, which is quite good. Now, it does have a lot of squishy little cultists, but, you know, that's what they're for. So from the horde killing perspective, from the cultists, we have 2 flamers. And now just remember before, if you looked at what I had, you can substitute a flamer for this guy if you want, and have the heavy stubber and 1 flamer. So that's an option you've got there. Other than that, what you've got is you've got your two heavy gunners there, and you've got 3 guys with auto guns and 3 guys with auto pistols and brutal assault weapons. So that gives you a nice 50-50 mix. These guys are going to be getting a lot of conceal orders, and you're going to be trying to get up there and grind those objectives out and win by points, I guess. And it depends on your secondaries, you know what I mean? Like the secondaries that you choose for this list might go hand in hand with what you're trying to achieve. That's the idea. Now, the marine stuff on this, what we have is to complement this. We have an icon bearer with a chain. This will be a chainsword, as I've said. We've got the heavy bolter, and we also have the leader. So, you know, again, it's that kind of thing where this is a specialist list. I don't think it's the strongest one in this, but if you're working the points game in the secondary objective and primary objective game, this might be the list for you. Just really, it's very situational. I still think the 2 marine fire team build is stronger, but this is on our roster, and this is another option that we can have. There's still a lot of really good stuff here you can do. You could either give, you know, I suppose what you're going to be really doing is you're going to be putting your main upgrades on these guys. You know, like you're going to give them like a suspenser system. You know, you could do the same thing again. Like as I said before, I really like the sacrificial dagger on him, and I like the grizzly trophy on this guy as well. You can still go that route if you want, which is quite handy, or you can spread it around a bit, spread the love around. So this is situational, as I said, and just another option for this particular kill team. So there we have just a few examples of a Heretic Astartes roster from what we can currently field. I think this covers a few bases. Like you can put together those teams in a number of different ways and different options. You can sub in different gunners, etc. So it's really up to you how you'd flavor this. This is just to give a basic overview, you know what I mean? As I said to you previously, the options we have at the moment are quite limited. You only have your Chaos Space Marines and you only have your cultists. We don't have any of the other options at the moment. So this team is quite strong. I've played it a couple of times now. I think, look, I think it's going to be like it was in the last game. I think it's going to be like a mid to high mid-tier sort of team. And, you know, as it currently stands, they're quite strong, but there are things that can beat them, I think, like Custodes and possibly Tyranids are 2 that I can think of offhand. But, you know, from the data that's coming in around the place, that's probably not that uncommon for most teams. But I think that they're a pretty solid team all around. They've got some great strategies and good equipment as well that they can use. So I hope this has given you a little bit of an insight into what you might be able to achieve with your Heretic Astartes team. If you have any requests for any of the teams that you wouldn't mind me seeing me cover, I am going to be going through all the ones that I currently have and then sort of how I've revamped them for the new kill team. So if you like this kind of content, yeah, please subscribe. It takes you a second to, means heaps to us here at WarHQ. But for now, I'm Lucius, you're you, and thank you for watching.